What is going on, guys? This is Crozin, and welcome to the Pure Strength build. So, Strength build's got a pretty nice buff here in the latest patch, more so specifically speaking in terms of the Colossal Swords and the Colossal Weapons. Not only did the two-handed attack damage increase, but they also increased the speed and also increased the recovery time of the Colossal Swords and the Colossal Weapons. So I figured I would make a pure strength build based on two-handing your weapon. I will probably make a power stance build in the future, but there's still a big debate on this. A lot of people feel that two-handing strength weapons is just not strong enough. But I feel like this patch was a trend in the right direction in terms of getting strength builds to where they are. A lot of people just like power stancing two colossal swords, and that's great. And that's still going to do more damage than this build two-handing just a regular colossal sword. But you have to make a lot of sacrifices in order to have two power stanced colossal weapons, and more so, you're going to have a lot of endurance. And it's going to lead to you having to sacrifice something. You're either going to have to sacrifice your gear or you're going to have to sacrifice your health. I mean, it's just really no other way to put it. So there's a lot of trade-offs when you try to power stance two colossal swords or something of the nature of that. And I feel like because of that, overall speaking, two-handing a strength weapon is probably your better option than power stancing. And I feel like this patch really increased the effectiveness of that, and hopefully we see more of that in the future. But yeah, let's get into the stats here. So with the stats here at level 125, I'm using the Vagabond class, and I only leveled 4 things with this. I got Vigor to 60, Endurance to 36, Strength to 54, and Faith to 15 in order to use some of the buffs, which will be Electrify Armament and Flame Grant Me Strength. So it's very similar to my quality build. So I just want to touch over why I only leveled up Strength to 54. If you're only two-handing your weapon, I feel like that's more than enough, because if you guys don't already know, two-handing your weapon essentially gives you 1.5 times the amount of strength that you have. So in this case, 54 times 1.5 will get you up to 80 strength, and that is the second soft cap. And if you go higher than that, you're going to start seeing a lot of diminishing returns at that point. So what I did was I crunched some numbers using the heavy greatsword and two-handing this thing. And just so you guys can see the difference here that I put on the screen, if you go up all the way to 99 strength, you're only getting 100 extra attack power than going to 54 strength. So that's really not that good, to be honest. So it's really up to you guys wherever you want to stop here. 54 is just a really good stopping point at level 125. If you're going up to level 150, I mean, there's really only like 2 things that you can level up at this point if you want that pure strength vibe. And that's either level your endurance or your strength. So if you're going up to level 150, you could probably level up your strength to 80 anyway. But like I said, 54, really good stopping point at 125. So for the weapons, we are going to be going with the heavy greatsword. It's by far my favorite colossal sword. And I kind of wanted to use either a colossal sword or a colossal weapon with this build. And that's kind of what I did, but for the main weapon, I settled on a heavy greatsword. I also threw in the grafted blade greatsword here in case anybody wants to use this. You only got to level up your dexterity by 1 with this build if you want to use that. But in my case, I feel that any weapon that you can put your own Ash of War on is better than something that has one that's locked in, like in this case, Oath of Vengeance. So that's just my own opinion, and in this case, Lion's Claw is really good. That also got a buff, and it's one of the main ones that I use with the heavy greatsword. So Colossal Weapons, I want to go over this real quick. I just don't really like them still. They're just so slow, and they hardly have any range, but the greatsword is one that compensates for that. And yeah, with the Ash of War included, this thing can still pump out a lot of good damage. And another thing I want to go over is you can actually block with this thing. So don't ever be afraid to block with this, because they did get a guard boost. And yeah, I mean, you can almost block with this as effective as a shield, which is kind of crazy. But For the secondary here, just went with a heavy longsword, and then in the offhand we got the finger seal. This is so we can use electrify armament and flame grant me strength. And for 15 faith, and if you're only using that for the weapon buff, the finger seal is the best one from what I know of. And yeah, as you guys can see, 1087 attack power now with both of these buffs. For the fashion souls, pretty simple here. Banished Knight Helm, Banished Knight Armor, Bull Goat Gauntlets, and the Scaled Greaves. And for the Talismans, Great Jar's Arsenal, Erdtree's Favor, Shard of Alexander, and the Claw Talisman. I would say that these three right here, you know, Great Jar's Arsenal, Erdtree's Favor, and Shard of Alexander, those are essential with this build. And I know Shard, you kind of get this one a little late, so you might have to substitute that until you get it. But for the last one, it's really personal preference. I mean, there's so many good ones that you can use depending on the situation. You could go for the HP Talisman or the Stamina Talisman. You could go for Green Turtle Talisman. You could even go for the Star Scourge Heirloom if you wanted to. Dragon Crest Great Shield Talisman, that's another good one that you can use. Axe Talisman, and then as I said, Claw Talisman, which is the one that I use most of the time. But again, I will switch it up here from time to time. But that is really it, guys. Yeah, pretty simple build here, especially if you're only two-handing this, which, because of the buff, I feel like you guys should try it out. I think it's good enough, especially at level 125. I can't really say that for 150, as I haven't really explored that much yet at level 150, but let me know what you guys think as far as, would you rather two-hand a pure strength weapon, or would you rather just go and power stance it? So let me know. I love to hear the debate on that. I know there's a lot of discussion on that, and people still find power stancing better. And yeah, let me know if you like this video, and I will see you in the next one.